What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. BobbyFi with my man Eric Sheets Haber. We are going to be doing a PGA breakdown and figure out the plays we like, who we're going to be rolling with, and all that. Sheets, any overall thoughts on the slate, course, anything like that?
No. So again, what we're going to be doing with these golf things is this is like kind of a summary of all my stuff. I'm not going to get into like all the course stuff and all the whatever individual thing. This is like kind of like the sum of all of my research. And then what I do is that I just kind of like overlay ownerships on top of it and just basically go over who I like the best in each range, given both ownership and projections and what I think,
Yeah.
So we'll probably get through it in kind of short order. And then what I like to do is I have kind of a core, and then based on what Bobby likes, I kind of filter that in through the rest of my thing. And then I kind of, finalize my lineups. One thing I will say is that usually, like last week, I had a very, very small core. I like a few more golfers this week than I thought I was going to. And the other thing is that, again, I still kind of gravitate towards those middling builds, and I'm doing that again this week. But there is like one guy we're going to get to like later who's below where I usually play, who I'm going to be playing a decent amount of. I don't say a decent amount, but at least enough. Like last week, we did well with the punts, right? We did well with John Hud. You know who else we did? Who did well? I didn't really play that much because I kind of scared myself off. But that Kramer Hickok guy, like that last little bit, I think he finished top 20 or top 25 or something.
He was in my lineup that if Kevin Streelman made the cut, I would have had a shot. But I was all over the Hickok. I was
really? Oh, wow.
Not only when you talked about it, so here's what was funny. Yeah. So I think he was like 0.5% owned in like the
right. And I thought he'd pick up ownership.
But
right?
He got 3.5%, 4%, and then the higher up you went up, it was just like climb.
Yeah.
I checked it out. He was on some winning lineups.
Yeah. So, all right. Let me share my screen, then we'll get into it. And yeah. So I guess you want to do range. Okay.
Yeah, just real quick. Like I do my research with golf, and then I talk to you, and we figure it out. And then I tend to do a little bit more after the shows right before, and there's been a few late scratches which we've had to deal with.
Yes.
But I do want to say that I think that we've come up with a pretty good idea of coming up with like a decent core. And one thing you've been good at with golf more so than I've been. And at times, I think it's different in NBA, obviously, but like with golf, you've kept a tighter core a little bit than I have.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm doing a little bit more of and not scripting so much with golf and actually right, doing it by hand. So just want to throw that out there.
So let's see if we can like agree or disagree on some stuff, and then we'll just kind of. One thing I will say: when both of us are completely in agreement on something, then we're onto something.
We usually are in business when that happens, huh?
Yeah. And the good thing is, I'm telling you guys, I never talk about this stuff before the shows, like never.
100% true. I couldn't believe the other day though you weren't into the LeBron play when I was into it. I was telling you, I said, you know what? You even said this about me before. You said every time you say LeBron, and I've said LeBron twice this year. He was his two best scoring games. So you got to trust me on some of these. But with golf, I do the same with you. All right, above 10K, who are we playing?
Yeah, so I'm not, as usual, I'm not playing the top guys. I'm not playing Rahm. I'm not playing McIlroy, and I'm not playing Finau. Definitely not. First guy I'm gonna play is Xander, and he's my top rated guy, but he's also, I'm telling you that ownership projection is ridiculous. He's gonna be much higher owned. He always is.
He happens every time, right?
Yeah, every time.
Usually he's more cheaper though compared to the other guys.
Right. So the only thing that might keep him down is he has this course history here where he was on it 5 times and missed like 4 cuts. It just makes no sense. He actually went to high school at Torrey Pines. I mean, Xander Schauffele.
Maybe he's like an ex-girlfriend who keeps stalking him in the crowd or something.
Maybe there's something, but he's my top chalky play. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
And that's above 10K. The other guy that, and this is like the ultimate just disgusting play, but only because he's going to be low owned, almost no owned. I might go back to Patrick Reed at 10-1.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think that's disgusting.
Yeah, so that's my above 10K play that I'm going to regret, but I'm going to play anyway. But aside from that, it's going to be Schauffele and Reed for me.
I still maintain, if not for that 3-hole stretch, that Reed may end up have won that tournament.
Because he lost his mind.
He lost 6 strokes in 3 holes. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? All right, so my problem is I have a little bit of interest in all these guys except for Finau. I understand the playing well, and I don't want Finau to be my highest spend. And I said that last week where it made more sense to have him as your highest spend. This week it makes a little less sense to me when you've got Rahm and Rory there. The only thing about Rahm is like it's hard because I feel like he's always right there. I feel like he has the chance to run away with the tournament, so I can't ignore him. And I love Rory probably too much. So I those are the guys I'll filter in a little bit, but mostly I'm with you on Schauffele. He's my most used player in the high range.
Yep.
And Patrick Reed, I like as a wild card play. And I agree. I think that Patrick Reed ends up lower owned than even he's being projected right now.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, nobody in their right mind is going to play him.
I mean, like there's us, you know what I mean?
That's
it was
right.
like the Scheffler thing. Like he ended up finishing second in the tournament after he was 7 over the day 1 of the tournament. Then he went 7 under the day 2. And then the next tournament, he like was 9 under through round 1 and then finishing second in the tournament. It was just like, you know, sometimes guys are just because they have one bad little stretch of holes that we shouldn't ignore them.
So the way I'm looking at the 9Ks is thusly. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so guys who I like very, very sort of close, and the ownership is going to dictate. Like my favorite play, just if you just tell me like, you know, points per dollar, whatever, is probably Hideki, but he's going to be a little higher owned than some of the other guys. I like Hideki. I do like Harris English, but my favorite play, and again, we play him a decent amount. I mean, you know, only 10, 11, 12% owned is going to be Victor Hovland.
Yep.
He's going to be my favorite play of the 9K range. And then a guy that you mentioned just now is Scotty Scheffler. He was immensely popular last week. He didn't really, you know, help anybody out. And he's going to be, you know, 10, 12% owned. I like him at 9K. And the other one who's going to be even less owned than that probably is Sungjae Im. So for me, I'm going to play Scheffler, Sungjae Im, and Hovland the most. But again, if you want to play Hideki and what's his name? English, fine, but I would make sure to put those in lower owned lineups.
Agree about. So I don't know. I like English. I don't know how much I'm going to get to him. I always like him though. I do think that Hovland is the guy who I'm most interested in outside of Hideki. I think Hideki's my play in this range, and I'll have the most ownership of him. But I think Hovland is the next, and it's really close. I'd have Hovland and Wolf both.
I'm gonna try Wolf. I don't have him this week. Or Koepka. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna just keep playing Wolf because he's gonna project worse
Yep.
by every statistical measure than he should. But you know, the smart golf people tend to play him a little bit more than that, you know, projection tends to indicate. So I'm rolling with them. I think with a lot of these young guys, I have a really, I think a sneaky play later on. We'll see where it ends up, but it sort of goes along with my theory on Wolf and playing these young guys and dealing with the variance. But even with the variance, I mean, what did Wolf end up doing what did he end up last?
He was good. I mean, like, remember, he was out of the tournament pretty much.
Yeah, and then he came back. He made the cut at least. Didn't play great on the weekend, but that's okay.
Yeah, but it's hard, man. When you like barely make the cut, you know what I mean? Like it's
you're and also especially for a guy like that who can go like 8 under and try and aim for it. So he's going to be a little.
Yeah, I mean, because once you start pressing, I mean, you're supposed to press when you're down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sheets. So I want to get some Scotty Scheffler, but I don't know realistically how much of it I'm gonna end up with. That's the truth.
That makes sense.
Okay. 8K range.
Yeah. So my favorite play on the whole board is in the 8K range, and should come as no surprise. I play him every freaking week. Is Billy Horschel.
Oh wow, that was not bad.
So Billy Horschel is my favorite play. Combination of his ability to win and, you know, and 10% ownership is good enough for me. He's my favorite play probably on the whole slate. The next guy I have, I'm just kind of hoping that he is lower owned than his ownership. I was hoping to get him at like 10%, but maybe just too cute is Adam Scott. I like him at 8,300. I just have to watch him. I'm not going to play him at maybe 17, 20%, but if I get like a late ownership, you know, run where he's cheaper, maybe I'll do that, but it definitely rates well for me. And the other guy who's probably going to be really chalky, but he just is always underpriced is Ryan Palmer.
Yeah. Why is he always underpriced?
Yeah, he's always underpriced. So those are the three, those are the obvious ones. So here's one that this is like, you talk about our other project where like you focus in on guys that people never play. I'm playing a guy this week. I'm probably playing it in my main buy-in, my big buy-in. I don't think I played a share of him since I started playing golf, but he rates in like the top 10 or 15 for me. And he's like going to be 0% owned. And I will be playing Ricky Fowler. God help me.
Wow. That was a name I definitely didn't hear you to.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna roll with it. And now that is my 8K. I was gonna like Will Zalatoris a little bit. He would be my next, but again, if I want to keep my core a little bit stronger, he might drop off.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like what I didn't talk about, so go for it.
I like Zalatoris. My favorite plays in this range are Bubba and Ryan.
Ooh, Bubba, I like that, huh?
I love Bubba. Always good here. I think that I like that, he's has high variance enough feel to him where he's probably going to be lower owned than he should be, but probably in the higher buy-in tournaments, probably higher owned there. I don't mind taking a shot on a guy who people just don't play enough of, and that's Siwoo Kim. He looked great last week.
Yep.
I don't mind taking a shot there. Cam Smith, I was sort of flirting with the idea, but I don't want to play everybody in this range. I sort of agree with you about Adam Scott, and I'll go with you on Horschel. I always like playing a little bit of Horschel too. Everybody in this range is going to have some ownership, except for like honestly Zalatoris and Fowler. I'm not playing Fowler, but I am playing some Zalatoris, and it'll be Zalatoris, Horschel, Watson, Palmer with a little bit of Kim, but preferring Palmer number 1 above all those guys, and Watson number 2 in that range.
I mean, not to go too recency bias also, but I mean, Billy Horschel's 2 of the last 3 events, he's finished top 10. He's 7 out of 7 in his last cuts. I mean,
I don't understand it exactly with him too. He's another one I feel like is underplayed and underpriced. And then Brian Harmon's another one we could talk about about that. No, just in general. I don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So this range, I guess it's not going to be tricky. What I want to do. Go ahead. You go first.
I don't know, really. Okay. What do you want? You're gonna play Speed?
No, I wasn't going to do that.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you my favorites in this range. My favorite, I know he's going to be a little popular. Man, maybe not that popular. Is Corey Connors at 7,700. And then a guy who I just can't believe he's going to be 10%. I really think he's going to be lower. And right now he's in my main buy-in, and he's another God help me one. But
I know who it is.
It's Charles Howell.
Oh, it's not who I thought it was.
Yeah. And again, I don't play him that often, so that's him. Not playing Woodland. The guys who I play a lot, which again, they should probably make it in here, are Kokrak and Ortiz. I play those guys quite a bit, and I probably should end up getting them, especially with this ridiculous ownership on both these guys. Yeah, that's going to be that. You know what? That's going to be some that I add. Cam Davis, he's a little bit too popular for me this week, so I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then you go all the way down to the bottom, go back to John Huh again. It's, he had a good tournament, so they dropped him in price. Beats me. Well, I mean, it's a tougher field. So he's 7K. Another guy who did pretty decently last week is Tringali, all the way down to 7K also.
Yeah, this is an active range for sure. I'll start at the top of the guys I do like.
Sure.
I'm fine with Cam Davis. Not like overwhelmingly excited about it, so I'll probably go to just play more Corey Connors instead, who I like. I actually prefer.
Okay.
I don't mind the Kokrak call. I love Sam Burns.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That's who I wanted to go back to after he really just had a bad 3-hole stretch day 1, and he ended up shooting. I think he shot 6 under day 2.
He was off like a layoff, right? Too, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he looked great on day 2. I mean, after shooting 5 over, I think he ended up 6 under for day 2. He was massive chalk. I think he's too cheap. I think he's extremely talented, and I believe that he's about to make a run. So he's my this year Matt Wolf guy. And then I like Ortiz on. I think I might throw in a little bit of Hoffman, but I like Ortiz on a little bit better. And that was pretty much it for me at the 7K range. The only other guy I want to throw in because he's looked really good is Doug Gim.
Yes.
Doug Gim and Doc Redman.
Isn't Gim's over 7K?
He's 7,200.
Okay. I thought he was under.
Too good though.
Yeah.
Gim and Doc Redman. I mean, even on this same course, like we could have seen Doc Redman at this price, and he would be like 50% owned, 60% owned 5 months ago. I don't think he didn't learn how to play golf anymore. And he actually made the cut last week. It's not like he was like the worst ever. Didn't play great on the weekend, I don't believe.
I'll tell you, I mean, talked about this with when Rick was on here the other day. This is why I don't like, but if I could avoid playing the 11K plus guys, I try to, just because I mean, I always can find some cool guys between like 8K and 7K, and I could put like 5 of them in under like a Xander. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And maybe you lose that upside of maybe those top guys, like you said, like Ricky and whatever. They probably have obviously have more win equity than like the other guys, but it allows me to play like I guess guys I kind of like. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, because I usually don't like to dip below 7K range. But today I got one for you.
Well, I really like, but I want to say also, I want to second you. I love John Huh.
Okay.
Love him. And I know you got one, and is it going to be the one that cost me everything last week in golf?
No, it's not. It's somebody I don't think we either of us have ever played.
Okay, who is it?
Okay, well, one guy that again I'm going to play again who did cost you, who cost me a lot. However much you had him, I think I had 71% Kevin Streelman. Okay, so I feel for you. So I do like him, but that's not the guy I want to sell you on. And it's not even a sell because I have nothing to support it. But I'm going to be playing at 6,500. I'm going to be playing Jonathan Vegas. So that is take it for what it's worth, and that's the end of my 7K range, 6K range.
I had him on my list too. I was curious if there's anything that stood out specifically about this tournament. Is just the price for upside,
Yes.
length? I don't know. I actually think Vegas is kind of interesting, and obviously anybody down in this range. The reason to play these guys is honestly, you just want it, like there's never chalky. They always top 10. Like there's always somebody that does.
Yeah.
I had Streelman as one of my guys. I hate Richie Warinsky in general, but for some reason
okay.
For me. I'll get behind you on the Vegas call.
Yes. That's what's it.
Some things were coming up with a little bit of Keith Mitchell. I'm
Okay.
not all over these myself. I didn't find myself I love the 7K range so much, and you can get different enough there, I thought. But I want to use these guys because I want to get a little bit different. I just don't have that.
You want a glutton for punch? You want to go back to our other guy from last week? You want to go back to Patrick Rogers? You could try that.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I actually would take a shot on Patrick Rogers.
And the other again, these are just like secondary. I'll just read you like 2 other secondary sub 7K guys. One is Denny McCarthy. He's I'm below 1%. Okay, well, it's got to be something. He can putt. And the other guy I don't think I've ever played is Wyndham Clark. So.
Wyndham Clark is probably the one who people will play a little bit of, right? Like not
much. I see that. That's right. I see he's getting like 5%, right?
Yeah, he's the kind. They always go for him at the cheap range.
Scott Stallings.
Yeah, I wish there was someone I had a stronger take on.
Well, they're under 7K, man. They're under 7K for a reason.
But usually I like some of this stuff.
Okay.
I get into it, but I'm not loving it this time as much. Oh, I do have one guy who I had circled or marked, Luke List.
Oh, there you go.
6.8.
As long as I have my sheet up here, the one, I guess it's the one guy I haven't mentioned yet. Just because he's right at 7K. If you want to get off the John Hutt chalk, as I like to say,
not going to be 50.
I'm just kidding. Right? And you could go play Matt Jones if you want at the same price.
Oh, okay. I hadn't actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay. You're behind it.
I do think John Hutt's going to get owned, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll get owned, but what do you think? Like
nothing. 10?
10, yeah, 10, maybe 12. Higher buy-ins, I could see him going a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I think a lot of really good players like him.
Yeah.
So okay.
You like we didn't talk about him because we didn't really discuss it, but only because you like to play him more than I do. What do you think about Koepka this week? You gonna play any of him?
I don't like to play Koepka except for the big ones. He is really cheap. Yeah. Boy, I don't know. Maybe I'd throw him into a lineup or two. You don't have any interest, right?
I have him in like one lineup. That's the reason I bring it up.
Maybe I'll play him in a lineup or two. I'll put him on my list just because I need to do a little bit more digging. Not that there's anything I feel like I should have caught on to, because I was ready for it.
Right.
But it's hard with golf. There's like you can build 500 lineups you feel good about,
Yes.
Until like Friday afternoon. All right. So Sheets, anything else before we get out of here for the people, or should we go?
No, we're good. I'm telling you, I could talk all about the shots gained approach and whatever it is, but look, it's a big course, and you want to be able to hit it far. But you know what? You want to be able to hit it far at every course, except for very, very small sample. You know what I mean? So what you're going to find is really that you want to play just good golfers, you know, and this is not one of those like real weird course for course type of places, you know. So, you know, just play your guys, you know, and like Bobby said, what's cool about, and I think I talk about this a lot when it comes to certain sports, like when I'll play like a football lineup, like I always think I'm going to win, right? I just love it. Whenever I play a baseball lineup, I always think I have no chance, right? But golf falls into that thing. I always think I have a shot with golf. You know what I mean? Because you're always playing like guys that you've seen, you know, and that's what you should do. Play guys that project decently, right? Or that somebody that you know likes them if you don't want to do your own research. It's fine. I mean, it's certainly a good way to play, right? Go to the experts and just make sure that you're not playing all the chalk, you know, because golf is, you know, like you said, if those you've ever played, man, if you're 1 millimeter off, you're in the water, right? So that's and then you're Patrick Reed, you know, and that's what happens.
Yep. How many he hit the water like 7 times in that tournament? I swear.
A lot of people hit the water
in 2 days, though. He did it.
A lot of people that I needed hit the water. If you want to know the truth.
Oh man! All right. Well, Sheets, great job. Hey, for Sheets, I'm Bobby. Saying good luck this weekend, and we'll see you at the top of leaderboards.